These are the Great Plains of North America, where tens of thousands of years ago, mammals such as mastodons, woolly mammoths, and steppe lions all called this land home. But for one reason or another, during a period known as the Pleistocene, these animals all became extinct. There is, however, one animal that survived, providing a direct link all the way back to the last ice age. The last surviving member of a family known as Antilocapridae, an animal that today has no living relatives on this or any other continent. From a distance, they could perhaps be mistaken for deer, but these animals are very much different. Meet Antilocapra americana, the pronghorn, and as we'll see, this is a truly unique animal. Still evolving at a time when the Great Plains were inhabited by predators such as short-faced bears, dire wolves, and the American cheetah, spotting predators and being able to outrun them was key to their survival. For this purpose, pronghorn are equipped with huge eyes, located high on their heads. At around 36 millimeters in diameter, relative to body size, they have the largest eyes of any North American ungulate. With this exceptional eyesight, they have a 320-degree field of vision and can spot movement as far as 5 kilometers away. Although pronghorn are right at home here on the northern part of their range, they can also be found as far west as Oregon, as far east as the Dakotas, and as far south as Arizona, New Mexico, and western Texas. And while their range may vary, their habitat does not. Flat to gently rolling landscape, stretching for many kilometers in every direction, is ideal. Perfect for spotting coyotes, which may be one of their last remaining natural predators. Once a threat has been spotted, they turn tail and run. Built for flight, the pronghorn can achieve speeds approaching 100 kilometers an hour, making it the fastest mammal in North America, and worldwide, second only to the African cheetah. To accomplish these amazing speeds, the anatomy of the pronghorn is certainly unique. A large windpipe facilitates the delivery of oxygen to an oversized set of lungs, which can absorb 3 to 5 times more than many similar-sized mammals. This highly oxygenated blood then feeds their muscles, fueling their amazing speed and endurance, enabling them to easily outrun any natural threat. To assist with this, pronghorn have no collarbone, which increases the mobility of their front legs in the direction of travel. And the bones in their lower legs, known as cannon bones, are fused to allow them to take longer strides while running. But this comes at a cost, because these bones are remarkably thin. And while pronghorn are superbly adapted to running, they are not good at jumping, and will therefore choose to squeeze under a fence rather than jump over it. Many are scarred from this, which can sometimes lead to infection and disease. So some farmers and ranchers have begun using smooth wire on the lowest rung, making it easier for them to squeeze under the fence. The horns of the pronghorn are also unique, a cross between horns and antlers, but possessing qualities of both. True antlers, like those of deer and elk, are made of bone and are shed every year. True horns, like those of a bison, are bony extensions of their skull, sheathed in keratin, and are never shed. But the horns of the pronghorn, which also have a bony core and a keratin sheath, are shed every year. And while the horns of the bison have just one point, the horns of the pronghorn buck have two, including a unique forward-facing prong, which is where they get their name. Pronghorn live in herds that change in size and gender with each season. In spring, females seek seclusion from the herd before giving birth to a litter of fawns in late May or early June. At birth, fawns are odorless and spend their first few days hidden from predators in tall grass. Yet at only 4 days old, they can already easily outrun a human. At about 3 weeks, they begin grazing, and along with the does and yearling females, begin forming nursery herds of less than a dozen animals. Meanwhile, breeding males will now head off alone to establish an individual territory. In summer, pronghorn feed on non-woody flowering plants, shrubs, grasses, and domestic crops. Like bison, they are ruminants, and when not eating, chew their cud as they rest. Because their teeth wear down as they grind their food, they grow continuously. In winter, as food becomes scarcer, they're about the only animal able to eat sagebrush, a plant that is toxic to other ungulates such as deer, elk, and bison. But their huge liver helps them detoxify the sage's bitter leaves, giving them a virtual monopoly on a food source that no other animal is able to eat. Here, on the northern part of their range, pronghorn mate in early fall. More dominant bucks usually have larger territories with better food supplies to help attract the does. Yet it is the female who decides which male she will mate with. Once selected, the doe will stay with the male for a few days before moving on to assess the fitness of another buck. For this reason, fawns born in the same litter can sometimes have different fathers. As winter approaches, pronghorn begin migrating from their summer to winter ranges. In recent years, the use of GPS collars has recorded these migrations, providing a better understanding of their migratory routes. Many of these routes are now fragmented by linear features, such as roads, canals, and fence lines, which create additional obstacles for the pronghorn to negotiate. From the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, thousands of pronghorn migrate south along a federally designated wildlife migration corridor to their wintering grounds in the upper Green River Basin of Wyoming. This age-old migration route takes them across busy thoroughfares and directly into the path of oncoming highway traffic, where on average 140 collisions with pronghorn were recorded every year. At a place known as Trappers Point, the Wyoming Department of Transportation, together with the Wyoming Game and Fish Department, collaborated to construct wildlife overpasses specifically for the pronghorn, which are believed to be the first of their kind in North America. These overpasses have become so successful that they have reduced vehicle collisions with wildlife by as much as 80%. Meanwhile, in Alberta, as winter sets in, pronghorn begin forming larger herds. And when snow becomes too deep on the prairie, they will occasionally move closer to urban areas where food and shelter are sometimes more readily available. For them, it's all about survival, and in every sense of the word, pronghorn are true survivors. 200 years ago, their population are said to have rivaled those of the plains bison. Yet just like the plains bison, herds were decimated by settlers converting rangeland to cropland, by professional market hunters who sold the meat, and by ranchers who believed pronghorn were competing with their livestock for forage. By 1920, it's believed there were only about 13,000 pronghorn left in all of North America. Today, largely due to transplant programs and careful wildlife management, pronghorn continue to roam freely in the West, maintaining a direct link all the way back to prehistoric times.